Hello. I thought that I would try something a little bit different for this Aries New Moon and do this video styling. I've had a few thoughts about the astrology of the moment that I thought I would share, and one of them is about Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn just went into Aquarius on the 22nd of March, and it signifies quite a big shift in terms of the energy, an energy shift basically. And I've been contemplating the kind of what Aquarius is all about and what Saturn is all about and what the combination might bring. And Saturn has a tendency to kind of produce like a kind of a reality check. It can also make us feel limited. It also represents authority and how authority can affect us. And in the case of Saturn in Aquarius, whoa, it's really windy around here. Aquarius is our capacity to stand up for our rights, for our liberties. It's liberty, equality, brotherhood, and Saturn in Aquarius it is literally meaning that just at this moment in time, given the situation that we're all in isolation, is that we cannot physically stand together and protest. We can do it in the virtual, but we can't do it physically. And that's something that I thought was quite interesting. And then the other thing is that Aquarius also represents computers and the World Wide Web and our connection, brotherhood of man, through that. And Saturn, and basically a friend of mine, he put up a picture on Instagram the other day with a picture of him on Zoom with a whole load of other people, and he said, "Welcome to the new reality." And I thought, well, Saturn, reality, Aquarius, computers, and the World Wide Web, and here we are there's people raving, virtual raving, people chanting together, people teaching online, all of this whole new world, because of the limitations that we're under at the moment, is kind of opening up on some level. So this is our reality, for a little while, hopefully not for too long. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. And another thing that I think is really interesting is that, and important to note, is that Uranus in Taurus, which is the sign of Mother Earth, and Uranus, the Great Awakener, so waking us up and changing our values, which certainly will be changed by the end of this if they weren't changed already, are working in tandem. Like Chiron, the Wounded Healer, which represents this virus, is square the nodes of the moon at the moment, and the virus is literally causing us to stay at home. Cancer, North Node, literally stay at home. Tend to our families instead of the South Node of kind of being in the rat race or having to work too hard, or that Cancer represents the matriarchy, Capricorn represents the patriarchy, that the South Node does anyway. And so while Chiron is doing this, there's a really nice trine from the nodes of the moon to Uranus in Taurus, and this is representing the breath of fresh air that Mother Nature is sighing right now. Like that she is like, so it's like a sigh of relief, and I think that us having to stay home is causing Mother Nature to be very, very happy, and it'll be interesting what comes of all of this on that level. So I thought I'd mention that. Another thing I wanted to mention is that Jupiter is moving towards Pluto at the moment, and as it does this, there is an escalation occurring, Jupiter being the biggest planet and the planet of expansion, and so it tends to magnify the energy of what's going on. Pluto very much represents this pandemic on a lot of levels, and also represents kind of the control by the powers that be. In a way, they have no choice but to control us at the moment, because otherwise people will do silly things. So Jupiter is moving towards Pluto, and this will be exact on the 5th of April. And I'm wondering whether this is like the escalation of all of this, and as maybe the powers that be and the governments kind of start to kind of get more of a handle on this and place greater restrictions on everybody in order to kind of slow the curve, flatten the curve or whatever, then hopefully after the 5th of April there may be a bit of a downward swing in all of this. This is if the astrology is correct on this matter. The other thing is that Jupiter and Pluto are going to be moving back together again on the 29th of June and also the 12th of November. Though what this might mean is yet to be seen, obviously. I don't like prophesizing. But it will be interesting to keep an eye on those dates, the 29th of June and the 12th of November, and of course the 5th of April. So yeah, I mean, Jupiter also represents people's belief systems and beliefs, and the preacher and the pulpit, of which I am obviously one right now, but people expressing their views and their opinions in the extreme, you know, and not knowing what the truth is and just being exposed to so many truths. It's just could be a bit overwhelming. So yeah, so there's that as well. There's that aspect to it. And last but not least, and this is something I think is really beautiful and amazing, and that is that Neptune is in Pisces at the moment, and that is just a really beautiful thing, you know. It brings the capacity for unconditional love and such compassion and empathy and kindness coming out of all of this. And I think that one of the most important aspects, maybe for now, in a way, is acceptance of what is, acceptance of what we cannot control. And I think just being kind to each other, you know. This is not a time to, you know, this is a time to really do the best we can to open our hearts and not have them close up through fear, you know, even though that's easier said than done. But yeah, to keep doing our best to keep opening them. So, but I'm feeling that a Piscean acceptance and kind of just going with the flow of the river and seeing where it takes us is a very big part of this picture. So thank you. This is maybe the first of many. We'll see. All right. Lots of love. Bye.